Today I'm going to be reviewing what's probably one of my favorite series of all time already, and there's only 2 parts out so far, and it's definitely in my top 10 books of all time, and that's the Stormlight Archive. Oh, I hope you can see it. Yes, you can. The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson, and it is amazing. I only discovered Brandon Sanderson I think this summer. Yeah, last summer I found the Mistborn series. I had the first book and I loved it, and then I had to wait till the second and the third book came in because I had to order them online because we didn't have them here nearby in the Netherlands. Yay. So I was basically dying with, like, I needed to read the rest, and then I took them with me on holiday because they arrived just in time, and I've been hooked on Brandon Sanderson ever since. Which I tell all the time. I'm not sure if I say it a lot on this channel, I wouldn't be surprised, but especially on my blog, booksandletters.org, I talk about Brandon Sanderson all the time. And I only recently read this monstrosity because it is huge and the letters are quite small, and it even took me a long time to read this, and a shorter time to read this one, which is, I'm sorry about the light, which is the second book in the series, and it's actually thicker. The first book, The Wave Kings, it took a little while for me to get into it, to get used to all the characters, and you know, for the story to really pick up, because the way this book is written is that it follows different people and different points of views, and in the beginning there are all these new characters and you don't really know a lot about them, and there isn't really a cohesive story yet. You're not sure how they all relate to each other until, you know, characters start to come together and it starts to make more and more sense and things are building, and you can't wait till some characters meet and hope they really do meet, and it is awesome. Like, it's freaking awesome. First of all, the world building in this series is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's kind of on the same scale of Lord of the Rings, but different, because Lord of the Rings has a lot of history and everything, but this has different plants. The plants behave differently, the weather behaves differently, the seasons behave differently than what we're used to. You have different races of people, and also kind of a subspecies that aren't really people but they're humanoid, and you have different religion and sort of magic in this world as well, and different customs. For instance, in this world it is seen incredibly unmanly to read. Reading is a feminine occupation, so only women can read, and almost no man can, and if you can, you should better keep it to yourself because people will think you're ridiculous, which I found weird and really interesting and kind of hilarious. So the scholars are mostly women, or just men who have women reading everything to them and writing everything down, but like the script is different, the customs are different, like what is deemed appropriate and what isn't is different. So only that point of view, like only if you look at the world building, it's awesome. And especially as a writer, it has inspired me to do more world building of my own, not to this scale probably, but you know, pay a little bit more attention to smaller details that I didn't in the past, or didn't, you know, as often as I will do now, I hope. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about the different characters in the story. I won't tell too much and I won't spoil anything for book 2 as well, but I will tell you a little bit, and hopefully you won't mind. If you do, stop watching. But don't, just keep watching. So one of the characters, my favorite character probably in this series, also kind of the main character, is a bit hard because they're different characters and different points of views, but I did get the sense that this was the main character of the series, and his name is Kaladin, and or Cal for short. And at the beginning of the story, he is a slave in a cart being wheeled around to this different place. They don't know where yet, where they will be sold. He's been a slave, I think, for 8 months at this time, and he got branded in the head with slave mark, and then another mark that he was I think that he ran away once or something, and then another mark that he's dangerous. So that's all on his forehead. That's what you want. And he's basically given up hope, and he grew so much in the course of 2 books that if you compare like the first Kaladin that you meet at the beginning and the second, like the last version of Kaladin that you meet at the end of book 2, you wouldn't recognize them. Like, they're so completely different, but in a really realistic way, and like step by step he grows into this different man, and you learn more about how he became a slave in his past, which was, you know, they keep hinting, Brandon keeps hinting at stuff. You really want to know what his story was and what happened to him, and you do find out, thank God, because I really want to know, and I won't say anything like what it was. Kaladin, by the way, is a dark eyes. You have dark eyes and light eyes, and light eyes are people who have light colored eyes, and dark eyed people have really dark brown / black eyes, and that is their whole system for who gets to be the upper class and gets to rule, and who gets to do all the menial labor and stuff and don't really have a lot of rights because they believe that the gods gave it to them this way. And another one of the characters is Dalinar, who is one of the princes of this realm, and his brother was the king who united all the princedoms, and his nephew is now the king, and he tries to help his nephew, and he is a really interesting character as well, and he gets these visions during storms, and he's just a really interesting character as well, and you learn a lot about him and his 2 sons. Especially Adeline I really like as well, especially in book 2. He's hilarious in book 2 occasionally, and I don't want to say too much because I'm afraid that everything I will say will be too much of a spoiler. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to know that before reading, so I'm gonna keep this fake, and I'm gonna stop soon because it's getting a bit long already. But one of the other characters is Shellen. She's a girl of, I think, 17. She's light eyes, and she's basically been sheltered and locked up in her house her whole life, but her father has gone, and she has to try and save her family and her brother somehow. You're not sure why yet and what happened until later in the story and how she plans to do it, so I won't say anything, but basically she travels to this well-known scholar and also the sister of the king, who and asks to be her apprentice basically, and she is awesome. I really like Shellen. She's funny and incredibly clever and really brave because she has to do a lot of things that she's not comfortable with, and you know, has to trick people and do things that she doesn't really know how to do because she, like I said, she was sheltered, and now she has to pretend like she isn't to try and get the apprenticeship, but then, you know, she, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna say too much, but anyway, she's awesome, and she draws a lot, which I really like, and is really interested in learning and everything, and she is just an amazing character, especially again in book 2. Book 2 was amazing. I know it's really thick and it's really a lot to get through, but it's worth it so much, I swear. I read these 2 like really quick, in under a month, together with a few other books, so I think I had like a week for both of them. A little bit more than a week for the first book and a bit less than a week for the second book, and I can't wait till part 3 comes out. That's the only thing. Like, I do have to warn you, when you finish book 2 you will probably experience withdrawal symptoms and the kind of grief that there is in the book 3 yet, and even though they're so thick, these books, I might actually reread them when book 3 does finally come out, and just because they're so awesome, like, it's worth it to reread them, and forever probably. Like, every time a new book comes out I'm just gonna reread them, and then by the time we get to book 10 I have to schedule in 2 months beforehand to reread the entire series. But yeah, I hope that this was sort of interesting, even though I tried to be a bit vague about everything. it's just, yeah, I have no idea what to say. There's this, the story, the overall story, there's this war going on with these subspecies sort of humans, because they assassinated the king, the previous king, the brother of Dalinar, and yeah, so they aren't happy about that, so they went to the Shattered Plains where these beings live, and they've been at war for 6 years, I think, and that's kind of the background on which this whole thing takes place, but it's awesome. And yeah, I just recommend it if you love fantasy, especially if you want to get into more high fantasy but you don't know where to start. Like, again, this is really, really thick, but it's awesome and I really recommend it. And stick with it if you don't really get into it the first couple of 50-60 pages or something, because it does get super awesome. And it's been awesome from the beginning, but it gets more awesome afterwards. And yeah, if you like romance and humor, there isn't a lot of romance in there, but it's in there, and humor and just, I don't know, uplifting things, depressing things are in there, everything's in there. It's inspirational, it's amazing, it's filled with action, but also with world building and everything. In case you haven't noticed, I'm kind of crushing on this series. I love it so much, and I've by now read almost everything that Brandon Sanderson has published. And I'm gonna probably read more of them, and I'm pretty sure that by this time next month I'll have read all of his books, probably, if I can get the funds to buy them. The ones that I still miss. Which brings me to the next topic, if you're still here, is my giveaway. I'm not sure if I will upload this video first or afterwards, but in any case, I'm doing a giveaway. I will link the video here somewhere and down below. I'm giving away the first book in the series, if I can, this copy, because they also have, like, not this literal copy, but the same version, because they also have them split in two, which probably reads a little bit better, but it's twice the price, and I just figured, why give you half a book if I can give you the entire book? So basically what I want to do is give away the first book, and yeah, you can enter till the 1st of April, because the 2nd of April I'm gonna pick a winner. And more information about this giveaway is in my giveaway video, which again I will link. I hope you really like this video. If you know Brandon Sanderson already and have read some of his books, what are your thoughts? Would you like me to do a more in-depth, spoilery review of this book, kind of a book talk? Because I can talk about this for ages, as you probably have noticed, because I think this video is gonna be pretty long. But anyway, yeah, give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and do subscribe to my channel for more videos and if you want to enter the giveaway. So I will see you soon with another video. Bye!